So yes guys, hello and welcome back to the Adam Templeton Triathlete YouTube channel. You join me Saturday the 11th of April 2026 for a quick foam rolling session and training update. So what's been going on, what's been happening. I didn't do a proper video last week, I just made a YouTube short, but yeah, just to give a quick recap. So 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, but the tail end of last week for Easter, I was back up the road in Scotland, and while there, didn't do much intensity work at all, just a lot of sort of volume, even though what I had mentioned previously in the videos was the time is now to get a high intensity block in. Yeah, I'd done the sprints on the Tuesday, but heading back up the road, yeah, I just felt not having the stress of work and of life. You feel so much more relaxed just when you're back in Scotland. Yeah, it was just a good time to put in the volume, and then every day you just wake up so much more recovered. It's amazing. Training wise, what did I get up to? I was actually outside on the bike, if you believe me, outside on the bike a few times, off of Zwift. And yeah, the weather wasn't the best for it. It was wet a couple of times and pretty windy. Again, given my bike handling skills, the best of times not being great, the wind did not help. I was wanting to do a longer ride one of these, sort of 4 hours, but I made it to 3, and I was like, that's enough for me. I've kept the bike upright for long enough, that's good enough here. And then other key sessions that I'd done, there was one big 7-kilometre swim that I'd done, that was good. Again, back at the old Linwood Onyx. The pool where before I always thought was quite slow, but it was perfect. It was never busy, I had a lane to myself most of the time. No splashing from anyone, so yeah, that was really nice. And then another session when I was there, the classic 5x400, trying to descend each of the reps. The final one, I was going a really decent pace, and again, just because it wasn't busy, I could hold consistent speed up and down the pool. And yeah, I was really happy with the times on that one. Then the Sunday long run that I'd moved to the Saturday, just because the weather on the Sunday was looking pretty rough. Managed to get pretty much a 20-miler in, up and down the hills. Definitely the hills sorting me out big style, because round about where I stay at the moment, it is incredibly flat. When I got there, actually, the first run that I'd done on the day that I arrived, driving up on the Wednesday night, the Wednesday evening, I felt my right foot go a bit tight, and I was able just to pull the plug the next day not run, which then paid it forward because my foot could rest that day, and then I was fine for running on the hills again after that. Then following on from that, this week just gone, on the bike, the Tuesday session was some good old 40-20s. 40 seconds hard, 20 seconds easy. I know a lot of the times now with the professionals that you see doing those sort of efforts, they'll keep the offs still quite hard, but I felt just for me, because my goal is to try and more push the good power at a VO2 max effort, as opposed to just trying to sustain the actual VO2 max output. Or yeah, that I'm not training the respiratory system, I'm training the physiological output. A session again that I've not done for absolutely ages. So I was unsure what the power numbers were going to be, but I was incredibly surprised after sort of working into it the first couple of reps, and then I was kind of hitting, I probably averaged round about 340 watts for the ons on the first one, maybe 345 for the next one, and by the end, the last round, there was a couple of the reps I was probably hitting 350 watts, which, if it doesn't show you that consistency is king and consistency is key, I don't know what will. because I've not done any sort of high intensity efforts like that in absolutely ages. But as you know, I'm a high volume athlete and I've trained consistently for ages now, that the capacity is there and it's just utilising that capacity. You've got two options. You're either building fitness or you're utilising fitness. And yeah, even just after a couple of sessions, I can already feel a difference on the bike, just pushing down the power. So yeah, really happy with that one. And again, with those sort of sessions, I only done 8 reps, 3 rounds. So the intervals lasted essentially 24 minutes. And you're doing 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So 16 minutes of total work. Very, very little. But I think that's now just sort of my warped view of these training sessions as well, is I've become too addicted of training to train and just sort of pushing out a lot of threshold work, but doing so much that it's actually hindering my ability to recover from the sessions. But yeah, now that I've kind of taken the foot off the gas a little bit and doing the training that will actually see improvement, that has to be the focus. Yeah, it's fine building the capacity from time to time, but really the goal here is increase that top end just enough to then allow the thresholds to also raise up as well, or to have the room to expand into. So yeah, really happy with that session and how it went. And then Friday morning, just yesterday, I'd done the same sprint session that I'd done on the Tuesday the previous week. So again, sprints ranging from 10 seconds long to 30 seconds long, and just trying to push out the power. The biggest thing that I have noticed from even just doing this a couple of times is just the pedal stroke efficiency and improvements that come with it. So I'm not getting much fitter from 1 or 2 sessions, but it's more the actual skill of riding the bike and pushing the pedals. And most of the time when you're going that hard, you then have to deactivate the muscle at the right time. So it's more just the kind of neuroplasticity of it and learning the skill and the firing, motoring of the muscles. Yeah, it's made a difference. And sort of peak power yesterday was over 500 watts, while we ran about 530 for one of the 10-second sprints. So you know I'm going well when I'm pushing over 500 watts. Again, only about 1,000 off of the professionals. So you know, if I can just learn how to push an extra 1,000 watts, yeah, I think I could make it to the Tour de France in the next couple of years. And then off the bike, went out and done a brick run as well. 4 times 5 minutes, and then 4x400. The 5 minutes, again, reflecting on the pace, I'm actually quite surprised. It didn't feel as fast as what the watch actually recorded it as. I thought I was going to be closer to the 3:35 pace, but they were sort of in and around 3:30, so just ever so slightly quicker, which was quite nice to see. And then the 400s, they were pretty tough. I'd done a couple of them into the headwind, but then a couple of them, one of them with a direct tailwind, and then the last one sort of headwind and then down a hill a little bit. But good to keep the leg speed going. Again, I think it's threshold work on the run that I want to be doing, because that's where you can build capacity. I don't need to be running much faster at all. It's just building the strength to be able to hold the speed under the fatigue. Is probably the most important thing. And so the last session of note this morning on the bike, usual long ride. Again, because of last week being up the road, not really getting a long ride in, and then the previous week before that being the week after the race, yeah, I've not really done a proper long ride in a while. So I was feeling good at the start, done my usual, got to 3 hours thinking, yes, this is great, this is great. And then, like always, the wheels just kind of start to fall off. But I'd already decided at kind of 2 hours in, I was feeling like good. I'm like, I'll do it. I can get 5 hours done today. And yeah, the last hour was pretty tough. It was a strange sort of fatigue because my legs didn't feel sore. They just sort of felt heavy. Yeah, you just kind of lose that zip that you have at the start of rides. But eventually got through those 5 hours, and then was at the pool this afternoon as well, and just for sort of 4K. Nothing too crazy. Again, swimming, the focus at the moment is just trying to accumulate as much time in and around that 140 per 100 or less, just to get a feel of moving at the speed. Because at the end of the day, it's that way. The professionals, their easy pace is faster than 130, and I'm pushing on at 140. So there is a major technique issue in there. But yeah, the past few weeks it has been improving. I've had a nice feel for the water, and it's just trying to dial that in over the next few weeks. Moving forward with the training, I'll probably do one more full week. Again, similar to what I've done this week with the 40-20s and the sprints on the Friday. One more round of 40-20s on the Tuesday the next week, and then shift the intensity to be more of a sort of over-unders effort. So you're still going above threshold, but it's not so hard that it takes even more out if you're just trying to extend the length of the intervals. That'll be the focus on the lead into the Lakesman here, where I've started off with the really hard efforts, then I'll move into over-unders, then I'll probably move into a bit of a threshold block. Chances are I'll be back up the road again round about the middle of May. So yeah, well, saying that, it's sort of 4 weeks time. So yeah, I'll probably do the over-unders block, go up the road for a few days, try and get a bigger volume block in, and then coming back from there, sort of 2 weeks left in May, do maybe sort of threshold or race intensity at that point. And then I think on the lead into the race, I'll try and, of course, the volume will drop to reduce the load, but increase the intensity again quite a bit. I always feel going into the race that I try and chase race pace sessions as if I need to prove something to myself before the race. Like, I need to prove that I can hold this speed, but it's at an intensity where you definitely know you can do it, but it's just having the sharpness and being ready to go on race day. So yeah, I'll probably not do too much race intensity leading into the race itself those last couple of weeks. But injury wise, touch wood at the moment, going alright, legs are feeling fine. Right lat, still a bit sore from time to time, just sort of the bit in between my lat and my shoulder doesn't feel great. At the gym, I have been able to increase or start doing weighted movements again with it, which has been good. I feel doing that, yeah, it'll progress the strength and hopefully fix the issues moving forward. And yeah, that's me just rambled on. Thought I'd just bring another quick update video, and be sure to let me know in the comments how your own training is going, how you're getting on, any injuries at the moment, any races coming up. And if you did enjoy this one today, hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.